Intro music fades in and out. Have you ever thought about how a tiny flicker of light can change the world? Not a big explosion, not a thundering speech, but just a small, brave flame against an endless dark. Tonight, I want to take you back to a quiet April night in 1775. Boston is dark. The streets are silent, and most of its citizens are fast asleep. But high up in one church tower, something is about to happen that will ignite a revolution. This is the story of Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. But it's not just about the man on the horse. It starts earlier, with a secret plan and a whispered code that you probably remember from school. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. It was a simple but brilliant signal. If the British troops were marching out of Boston by land, one lantern would be lit in the steeple of the Old North Church. If they were crossing the Charles River by boat, 2 lanterns would be raised. Paul Revere, waiting across the water in Charlestown, would see the signal and ride to warn the countryside. Let's just pause and think about the sheer tension of that moment. Imagine you're one of the patriots involved. You're living under military occupation. Redcoat soldiers patrol the streets, and a wrong word could land you in prison. Dr. Joseph Warren, a key leader of the resistance, gets word from his network of spies that the British are on the move. But where are they going, and how? He knows he has to get the message to Revere. The task of lighting the lanterns falls to 2 men, Robert Newman, the church sexton, and Captain John Pulling Jr., a church vestryman. Think about the risk they took. The Old North Church was the tallest building in Boston, its steeple a perfect lookout point for British sentries. To get there, they had to sneak past patrols, unlock the heavy church doors in the dead of night, and climb 191 creaking wooden steps into the darkness of the belfry. Every sound, every shadow could mean they've been discovered. If caught, they would be branded as traitors, facing a grim fate. Yet they did it anyway. They did it for an idea, the idea of freedom. From across the Charles River, Paul Revere waits, his eyes fixed on that dark church tower. The minutes must have felt like hours. He's scanning, waiting for the signal that will set everything in motion. And then he sees it. Not one, but 2 faint glimmers of light hanging high in the steeple. 2 lanterns. The British were coming by sea. That's the moment. In that flicker of light, a decision was made. Courage was put into action. It wasn't a declaration shouted from the rooftops. It was a message whispered through light. Revere gets on his horse and begins his legendary ride, but he's not alone. Another rider, William Dawes, takes a different route. The 2 lanterns didn't just start one ride. They triggered a whole network of alarms, spreading the word from town to town. The regulars are coming out. The ride that followed, the battles at Lexington and Concord, the first shots of the American Revolution, all traces back to that single, defiant act. It was a moment where ordinary people did something extraordinary, using nothing more than a couple of lanterns and a whole lot of courage. It shows us that history isn't always made by generals and kings. Sometimes it's made by quiet heroes in the dark, by people who believe in something so much that they are willing to risk everything for it. Today, the Old North Church still stands proudly in Boston. You can walk its aisles, and if you look up at that famous steeple, you can almost imagine seeing those 2 golden lights glowing against the night sky. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most significant changes don't start with a roar, but with a quiet light that refuses to go out. It's a symbol of hope, a testament to the idea that even in the darkest of times, a small act of courage can be all it takes to light the way forward. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more hidden moments in history, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what historical event you find most inspiring. Until next time, stay curious.